you want to give me a countdown?
Okay, from 5?
Yeah.
5, 4, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Anderson, host of the YXE Underground podcast, and I'm sitting on a park bench in W.E. Graham Park beside one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm one of Eric's favorite people in the whole wide world. My name's Anita Smith. I'm the artistic and executive director of 25th Street Theatre, and we produce the Saskatoon Fringe Festival.
Do you want to explain what's actually happening right now?
Oh, sure. Yeah, these are setup days. So these are like the longest days of the year for us at Fringe. So we've got, what's going on back here? Okay, Carnival Games is getting set up. Johnny and Rory are working on building the park deck. We have some people from Urban Camp here helping to spread out wood chips. We've got volunteers decorating the beer gardens, sales staff building the sales tent, people painting. It is a hive of activity right now.
Because Fringe begins on Thursday? Thursday. So, like less than 48 hours. Do you feel, like how do you feel at a moment like this?
Kind of annoyed at you for telling me it's less than 48 hours. You know what? This year we did something called a paper tech. So we sat down as a leadership team and we went over we created like zones of the Fringe, because the Fringe is, in that little description of what's going on, I didn't say anything about the theater venues, but there are technical rehearsals happening in the theater venues right now. So at our paper tech, we created zones like the theater venues, sales area, yada, yada, yada. And we went through, we assigned captains to each zone. And then each zone broke down, like on day 1 we're doing this, on day 2 we're doing this, day 3 we're doing this. And so it really helped us to get a handle on order of events. And because sometimes what can happen is you start to feel like you're not getting enough done. But when you lay it all out in advance, then that way you can just do that beautiful cross off the list. And you're like, I accomplished something.
The joy of accomplishment. Well, my boss, Kim Schmidt, taught me that at Sherbrooke, because I never really understood that. And then we do this thing where if you have a task, you put a circle beside it, and then when your task is done, you put a check mark in the circle.
So satisfying. So satisfying.
It's so good. You mentioned the venues, Refinery and Cosmo Senior Center and Broadway Theatre, and then there's one more, correct?
Correct. It's not an official Fringe venue. This is something that other Fringe festivals do. They call it BYOV, Bring Your Own Venue. So what happens is, everybody who wants to be a part of our Fringe, we put their names into a draw. We draw who gets a spot. But if you are not drawn in our regular Fringe lottery, and you want to still perform as part of the Fringe, you can pitch us a venue. So that's what's happened this year. There were a group of 3 different artists that brought a venue to us. They've made the arrangements entirely with Grace Westminster United Church, and they are still a part of the Fringe, but they were not drawn in our lottery. So essentially what that means is they pay a reduced fee to us, but they are paying their venue directly. Yeah, but they're still a part of the Fringe, and they get more shows because they schedule it themselves, and yeah, it's more costly to go that route, but they're wonderful touring artists who love Saskatoon and wanted to be here, so we're really happy that worked out.
Well, that speaks highly of the Fringe, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We have, I hope, a good reputation amongst our touring artists, and they know they're not going to make the kind of money that they'll make at Winnipeg or Edmonton when they come to our Fringe, but they also know that it's a really warm and inviting space, so that's something we're really proud of.
Yes. I was looking through your guys' program, as always, is a wonderful program. There's all the different plays and everything. As I was reading through all the plays, there's such a wonderful variety, especially like great local Saskatchewan talent, and then a few from across Canada, and then there's like one from Germany, and I think one from the Netherlands as well, a few from the States. But it got me thinking, and I don't know if we've ever talked about this before in our annual chats, but Anita, what do you think makes a good Fringe play?
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, that's so tough, because who's the audience member? So, because I think a good Fringe play will surprise you. You may go in expecting one thing and then come out with something else, but like there will always be an element that you're like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought to do it that way. Those are the fringe plays that tend to stick with me. I have some really memorable ones from over the years. El Diablo of the Cards, remember him? You do. You remember him.
Yes, because he was in the Refinery, right? And he won best in show, right? Or audience, like...
Best. I was like
the audience
overall.
loved it the most. Yeah, that's overall. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, he was great. Brazil? Was he from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was from Brazil. And then another one that really sticks with me is Rat Academy, where they did a show as the last two rats in Alberta, like, you know, because Alberta's all about being rat-free. Yeah, so they were the last two rats in Alberta, and they were just such brilliant clowns. And I don't mean that like in the sense of like a red nose or whatever, but like they just understood comedy so well. And they didn't have a lot of flash and pizzazz. That's the other thing about fringe shows is like they tend to be low tech because they have to travel all over the place, most of them, unless you're a local. So they tend to like surprise you in little ways. They're not elaborate sets or anything like that, but like they'll often like surprise you with something. I remember Kate Ryan, she had an umbrella on stage one time and she just picked it up and put it over her head and spun it, and feathers fell all onto the stage, and it was so beautiful. Anyway, something very simple but very memorable.
How did El Diablo surprise you?
Oh my gosh, well, okay, he was a magician and I just was like, magician, okay, sure, show me some tricks. But like I was genuinely surprised by his tricks. I was like, I actually don't know how he did that. And I'll be honest, my family was on stage with him, so I think I was a little biased.
But you bring up something that I also wanted to ask you about. I was telling you before we got started, I was in Bangor, Saskatchewan this past weekend for the Gateway Music Festival, and it had been 13 years since I've been to the festival. And the one thing I really noticed compared to 2013 was how family friendly it had become. It wasn't just a music festival. There was things on the festival site that all the kids could enjoy, including like the bucking bronco, like you could ride it kind of. Kids loved it. But it was neat to see because a lot of the people that were probably single like I was in 2013 come back 13 years later and they've got their family there, and it was such a great way to get more people in. And I'm wondering, like, is that something that you guys think about in terms of how do we engage not only just the people that are going to be going to the theater shows, but like are here on the grounds and they're going to have their kids or maybe grandkids with them too? Is that something that's on your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember coming to the Fringe before I was working here, and I couldn't stay because my kids were little and it was just so hot. There was nowhere to go to get reprieve from the heat, and they were just too little to be staying out like on Broadway for that long, just baking. So we couldn't stay. And then when I started managing the Fringe in 2019, I only had 90 days before the festival started, so there wasn't a lot of time. You know, we just kind of had to go with what was in place. But I remember seeing all these kids around the site and like kind of wondering what there was for them to do here. So I got out a piece of plywood, and I painted it white, and I divided it into squares, and I just put out some paint and said, "Come paint with us," a sign that said, "Come paint with us," and a bunch of paints, and the kids just took them and they ran with it. Like the board was filled within an hour. It was filled. And so I was like, okay, there's clearly kids around here. There's clearly a desire like to bring your kids to these events or this event specifically. So what are we going to do to enhance that? And part of that is a little bit self-serving because I want to be what's the word I'm looking for? I want to be investing in the Fringe patrons and the Fringe artists of the future now. I want to find a way for kids to connect with the Fringe, because then as they get older, this is going to be like something that they look back on fondly, and then they might want to be involved as patrons, or they might want to be involved as artists. And I can say with my own children that has certainly been the case. They love the Fringe, and even my niece and my nephew, like they're all about coming to do the carnival games at the Fringe. And Abigail and Josie, as they've gotten older, they've gotten more like Josie's volunteering this year, and Abigail's involved with collaboration company. Like we've done. I can say with my own children, the experiment has succeeded. They are invested in the Fringe Festival, and I hope that's the case for others as well.
You mentioned collaboration company. What can you tell listeners about that? Because this sounds just awesome.
Yes, we are so excited about Collaboration Company. Okay, so we've been doing Collaboration Station, which is our free drop-in arts program every year at the festival. And actually our first year was 2020. So we switched and did it digitally, but that was our first year of doing it. Kids can come, they get hands-on theater experiences. It's free to the public, anybody's welcome. So this year we decided to, because we've been doing this for some time now, we decided, well, those kids that were pretty little when they were coming to Collaboration Station are now older, and they might be interested in something a little different, a little more substantial. So we created Collaboration Company, and they are a group of young theater artists between the ages of 12 and 16, and they are going to perform at the Fringe. They have been working with a director to create their own show. They've been painting their own props. I know because Abigail comes home covered in paint. And they've been, working out, building their own Fringe show. So it was totally free for people to participate in. We ended up having 6 kids this year. I want to say 6 artists. We had room, I think, for 12. And we expect the program to grow in popularity, because what they do is they get this whole experience of what it's like to build a Fringe show. And then at the end of it, they split the gate. So just like a real Fringe artist. So they get to take home whatever money they make from doing this show at the Fringe. And they get 3 shows only because we just felt like we didn't want to give them a full run. We wanted to keep it a little shorter for them. But yeah, that's it.
Where can people see their performance?
Yeah, they have a show at the Cosmo. So they've got their show is a part of the regular Fringe schedule. It's listed in the program. I think they're called Fable Theater Company. I think that's what they named their theater company. And the show is meant for kids. So it's made by 12 to 16-year-olds, but it's meant more for 3 to 10-year-olds kind of thing.
That's awesome. That's so neat. There was one other thing that really grabbed my eye from the program that I wanted to ask you about. And this is, when I saw petting zoo, I was like, oh, animals. That's new, but it's not animals. It's
instruments, yeah. It's the instrument petting zoo. So yeah, people are welcome to come and play with the instruments and see how they work. And yeah, I just think it's a really neat, fun way to test out the tuba or whatever instrument it is you're interested in.
I just think that's really cool, because I remember being a kid and in grade 6 we were you're in band and you're sort of testing everything out, and it was fun just to fiddle with things and just, hear what they sound like and stuff like that. That's I like that. Do you have a favorite instrument, Anita?
You know what? I don't. Maybe I should go visit the instrument petting zoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you should. Couple of things before I let you go, because I know it's a busy day. One, I'm looking at Dufferin Avenue right now, and you guys made the news last week, the CBC News, because Dufferin's been under construction, but it looks like things are going to be okay. What's the journey been like in terms of construction? I feel like this is an annual topic when I talk with you about Fringe. There's always something happening construction-wise.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do live in Saskatoon, so 2 seasons, winter and construction, right? So You know what? It has not been fun. It has not been a fun journey dealing with the work that's happening on Dufferin Avenue, starting right from the beginning when we weren't informed that the work was happening, and we actually just found out from someone who happened to notice and live in the neighborhood and tell us about it. So we have been we have been communicating with the city for months, trying to get a more concrete idea of what will be happening here. We were told that construction would be completed in time for the Fringe, and then last week there was a giant hole in the middle of Dufferin, so it definitely wasn't looking done. And then we were told most recently that it will be open to traffic, but it will be gravel. So it won't be paved over. And if that is not the case, we have also been told that work will cease while the festival is on, so they won't be actively doing work. It's been extremely challenging to find just to get information, and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend having to deal with construction while producing a festival. It's not a good time. The one good thing, I guess I could say, that's come out of it is there seems to be a realization or an awareness with administration now that if events don't necessarily have their offices in the area where the event takes place. So we were originally told, we didn't tell you because your office isn't located in the area that would be impacted, but
because your offices are in Riversdale.
That's right. Yeah, our office is in Riversdale, but there are, like, I'm struggling to think of a festival that has their office in the space that the event takes place. So there seems to at least now be some sort of awareness about that. That'll be my silver lining, I guess, I take away from this.
Thank you for sharing that. Last question for you. I always look forward to our chats about Fringe because I love the festival and I love chatting with you and learning more about it. But this is the last year I'm going to be able to talk to you about Fringe. What's happening?
Yeah, this is going to be my last Fringe. I just after what year is it? 7 years. It's just time for me to move on and to pass the Fringe crown on to someone else.
You have a crown, Anita?
I don't, but I was like, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So it's just time for somebody else to take it on, and I think I'm proud of the work that has happened and the way that the festival has grown, and we're just so much more sustainable than we once were. So I am proud of that. I know people still are like, why isn't it on Broadway for the full 10 days? But I mean, we made some smart decisions there that I think have actually benefited the festival overall, even though, like, I know people yearn for a closed street that they can walk on sometimes. But yeah, this will be it for me. This doesn't mean that I'm necessarily done with 25th Street Theatre.
Yeah, so I was just about to ask. Yeah.
It just means that I'm ready to have a summer.
Yeah.
And so this will just be my last summer at the Fringe Helm.
Okay. And speaking of 25th Street Theatre, there's something happening at the end of the Fringe Festival. Would you like to tell people about that?
Yes. So we are going to announce our 2026-2027 Beyond the Fringe season at our encore performance. So this is a special show we do. It's one show only, August 9th, Chase Paget, beloved Fringe theater artist across North America. He's doing a show, and at that show, we will announce what we will be doing next season. I'm very excited.
That's awesome.
Super excited about it. It's going to be a great season, and I mean, for those who come to our shows, you know that we were doing some really fantastic work. So I'm very excited about this.
Any hints at all? Behind closed doors? Will it come back? Any hints?
Guess you better buy a ticket and find out, Eric.
Well done, Anita. Well done. Thank you for always taking time for me and the podcast. Selfishly, it's just a joy to ask you questions, and because I think you are not only an incredible leader, but you build community and in our city, and I think that deserves to be celebrated. And you have created such a wonderful team. Actually, I'd written it down and I didn't bring the paper, but when I was going through the program, I think I counted it was around 28 people as part of your team, not including the board of directors, that put on Fringe, and that really blew me away.
Yeah, it is a lot of people. It has grown substantially, like over my time here. Not to mention our 151 volunteers this year. Wow. So
151.
Yeah.
Anita, that's amazing.
Yeah, it really takes a village to raise a Fringe festival. Yeah, it's and especially considering when I started there was only one year-round staff person, and it was me. So yeah, it's pretty incredible to have this level of support from people as staff and as volunteers. And part that I'm most proud of with that is we have so many returning staff members. So I love that people have worked for us, they've decided they want to come back and do it again. And I've watched people grow their skills to the point that we're able to promote them. Yeah, so we have a lovely group of humans that come together to make this happen.
I think that speaks to the culture of your organization and the leadership as well. So, well done, Anita.
Thank you, Eric.
Have a great Fringe, and yeah, I'm excited for everything. So, yeah, thank you for everything.
Thank you.